Today has been a busy day when it comes to Donald Trump appointments, and we're going to go over a few of those appointments that, from today and other days, starting with one of the most absurd ones of them all. A lot of people might be calling this throwing spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks, or maybe it's throwing crap on the wall. I don't know, but I nearly spat out my drink when I heard that Donald Trump wants to appoint Matt Gaetz to the position of Attorney General. Mark Wayne Mullins, conservative Republican on Matt Gaetz, has said that Matt Gaetz bragged about crushing up ED medicine, like Viagra or Cialis or whatever it was that he used, shoving it in Gatorade, and then drinking it and saying with that, he could just, quote, go all night. I wonder if go all night is code for last more than 5 minutes in Republican speech. But, yeah. So, but not only that, he was also on the House floor showing pictures of women who he supposedly slept with on the House floor. And who knows if these women were of age or not. And I think they were also possibly nudes. And if they were nudes, that would violate the consent of the people whose pictures that he had of them, unless they specifically said, hey, show me off to the rest of the old farts in Congress. I doubt they did that. But if they were people who were at these parties that Matt Gaetz is connected to, with the alleged sex trafficking that went on at these parties, if these were underage, then not only would he have been admitting to sleeping with underage people to his colleagues, but if he was showing them pictures of naked women or naked underage women on the phone, then that's a violation of federal law. And why didn't these idiots in the Republican Party say, hey, this guy is showing pictures of naked people or whatever, or is admitting to sleeping with these people, and if any of them were underage, that should be just him admitting to, his crimes of sexual assault, rape, whatever. Again, poor Nestor. Nestor gets caught up in all of this, poor Nestor. But even beyond his ridiculousness when it comes to, his horrible behavior when it comes to women, he's never been a prosecutor. How on earth are you going to appoint somebody to the office where you're the head prosecutor of the entire land and you've never prosecuted a case once in court? Yes, you could delegate, I guess, to your underlings if you wish, but you would hope that the person who is in charge would understand, hey, this is how the law works, and this is how prosecutions work, and this is how to navigate a courtroom. It's like, my cousin Vinny. My cousin Vinny is basically going to be the Attorney General, if appointed, if confirmed, except not as smart as Vinny. Because Vinny basically had never defended a case before, and he basically did like contract stuff and other, if you watch the movie, But he never actually defended a case in court. He managed to get around it and make the argument and win, but again, my cousin Vinny has more courtroom experience than Pizza Gaetz, Matt Pizza Gaetz. And do we want to have an AG? Have we ever had an attorney general who has been investigated by the Justice Department before, especially for the things that the Justice Department have investigated him for? Have we ever had an attorney general who's been linked to possible child sex trafficking? Let me tell you, Attorney General Pizza Gaetz would be great for the podcast. I will have tons of material to use if we do get Attorney General Matt Gaetz. But I don't want that. I'll say no, I don't want to have that, because Attorney General Pizza Gaetz would be terrible for this country. But we all know why Trump is appointing Pizza Gaetz to that position. It's because he knows that Matt Gaetz is loyal, and he knows that Matt Gaetz will go after his political opponents like a rabid pit bull. Not to be outdone, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. He is somebody who served in the military, but he's sexist. He has stated that women should not serve in combat roles. A lot of the times, I think the people who are promoted for this position are four-star generals, or at least have reached the rank of general. In doing some investigation, I have found other people who were Secretary of Defense who did not have this particular, did not have those credentials. That's fine, whatever. But do you really want somebody as in charge of the Secretary of Defense who doesn't respect women at all and their combat abilities? This guy also wanted Trump to pardon 3 officers that were charged with war crimes relating to shooting non-combatants. That tells you what type of person he is. People were charged with shooting non-combatants, charged with war crimes. He implored President Trump to pardon them for whatever reasons. He also has that questionable cross on his chest, that tattoo that I don't know how many Secretary of Defenses we've had that has so many tattoos. I don't know. There's some questionable thoughts as to what those tattoos mean. A lot of people think that links him to extremist, like white nationalist groups. It's one of the reasons why he wasn't allowed on Joe Biden's inauguration, I guess, security, because they questioned his link to those groups, and as such, wouldn't want to have such a person involved in the president's security detail. But now Donald Trump is going to have him, if he gets his way, to be Secretary of Defense in charge of, the whole ass military. The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. Shouldn't you have to be an intelligent person to be in charge of intelligence in this country? Clearly, that's not something that belongs anymore. It does track, though. She's a Russian stooge, and she's going to do the work for the intelligence agency under another Russian stooge. So, Russian stooges attract Russian stooges, if you will. Her office will be responsible in part, or one of the responsibilities of her office, is to make the presidential daily briefing, something that President Trump is famous for ignoring. But maybe she'll draw them up in crayons for his benefit. Who knows? Do we really want somebody who is to be the director of national intelligence, to be somebody who in 2017 went on a secret trip to visit Bashar al-Assad, the Syrian leader, accused of using chemical weapons on his citizens? And remember, when there was the issues going on in Syria, Donald Trump backed away and ceded power in the Middle East, and especially in Syria, to who? Russia, to Vladimir Putin. So if Donald Trump ceded power to him in the first turn, now he's appointing a Russian stooge to be the head of the director of national intelligence. This can't bode well for our nation's intelligence assets. Governor Mike Huckabee, ambassador to Israel. Now, I understand that not every ambassador to Israel has been Jewish. A lot of people have been. It makes sense to make somebody who is an American Jewish person an ambassador to Israel. But it doesn't always have to be. I don't think you could be it's very well possible that you could be a Christian person or an atheist or a Muslim person, whatever, and be the U.S. ambassador to Israel as long as you do the job well. But Governor Huckabee just gives me the ick on this. It just feels extra icky because he's an evangelical, and the only reason that evangelicals support Israel, especially conservative evangelical Christian types, especially conservative politician evangelical Christian types, the only reason they support Israel is because they want as many Jews to be there so that when the prophecies come true, they die first. Friends like that, who needs enemies? Elise Stefanik, ambassador to the UN. What diplomatic bona fides does she have? I mean, maybe Trump says, she definitely gives me the bona fides, if you know what I mean. But, there's nothing there. She has no experience there. Maybe you want somebody to have a little bit of foreign policy experience to be the ambassador to the UN. Maybe, well, she lives in New York, the UN's in New York, so there you go. That makes her qualified. It's another absurd appointment. I mean, it's not as bad as Matt Gaetz or Huckabee or Tulsi Gabbard or Pete Hegseth. But it's still kind of weird. But Marco Rubio now looks sane. That's one of the sanest appointments that Trump has made so far. Look, I don't like Marco Rubio. I think he's a coward because Trump used to call him Little Marco, and now he's, his little toy just to wander around, whatever. But we all knew whoever Trump was going to be Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of State, or anybody who Donald Trump appointed to any of these positions, we all knew we weren't going to like any of them. But compared to everything else and everyone else we're seeing, Rubio actually looks like a lucid and intelligent choice in comparison, which is sad. But with Rubio, I can at least shrug it off and say, that's what happens when your country believes a faux populist, felonious racist, and elects him to the highest office in the land. You're going to get these type of people. And if these type of people were all Marco Rubio, then, it wouldn't seem as insane. But when you have Elise Stefanik as ambassador to the UN, Governor Huckabee as ambassador to Israel, Tulsi Gabbard as the head of the Director of National Intelligence, Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense, and of course Matt Gaetz in charge of the Justice Department as AG, that's mind-numbingly stupid. And if the Senate confirms Matt Gaetz as AG, bye. It's just going to tell you exactly where this nation is going to go. If the Senate actually stands up to Donald Trump and says, this is too far, no, this is ridiculous, then maybe we'll have some hope of sanity in this country. But if they full on allow Donald Trump to have Matt Gaetz as AG, that's just proof that it's done. We're just done at that point. Anyway, what do you think? Agree, disagree? Leave your comments down below. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and of course, as always, have a good day.